There's a lot that goes into planning for an outdoor art fair. From planning to painting, the marketing, pricing your work, logistics and setup. I'm not gonna lie, it can be somewhat overwhelming. So in today's video, I'm gonna share with you some tips and advice that'll help the preparation leading up to your outdoor art fair be as seamless as possible. So to start off, you need to get very clear on your vision. What exactly do you want people to feel when they enter your booth? Do you want them to feel happiness, sadness, insanity, or a sense of calm? You want to think, who is your ideal client and what work do you think will draw them in? So I'm going to give you a little task right now and put you to work. What are 3 words you want people to think when they hear your name or think about your art? After you've come up with those 3 words, you want to create work that embodies those 3 things. For example, mine are bold, high impact, and fun. And once you have those 3 things written down, you want to really think about work you can create that embodies those things. Now I want you to go through your existing work. Does all of your work currently fit into this vision? Anything that does not fit that vision should not be included in your show. You want to make sure your work has some type of continuity, whether that be through color choices or just the overall style of your work. Now it's time to plan out your booth. Now there are a couple ways you could do this. You could do it the old school way and sketch out the dimensions of your booth on some grid paper and then sketch out the dimensions of your painting on the grid paper as well. But you know what? The internet and technology made things a lot easier for us, and now we can just do this on the computer. So my husband showed me this amazing little website called Figma, and honestly, it's the best for planning out your booth. You just type in the dimensions of your walls, you type in the dimensions of your painting, and bam, you got them right there for you. And I'm not going to go into details here, but if you would like to see a video on how I plan out my booth using Figma, let me know in the comments down below and I can create one for you. Now it's time to gather inspo and references you will need for your new work. So whenever I take a neat little photo that I think would make a cool painting, I like to leave them in this little folder over here. My reference photo folder file. Oh, that's hard to say. Anyways, so I just keep all the photos that I've taken, that friends have taken in this file that I think would make interesting paintings. And then I jump on over to Figma and pop those bad boys in the little squares or rectangles I have previously created. It's prep time, baby! So I realized there was a few canvases I still needed to pick up. So I went to my trusty art store, Desserts, the best art store, PS, so you should go shop there. And I loaded my canvases up and brought them over to my studio. Once I'm back in the studio, I bring out the gesso and my nice gessoing brush. Oh, now I'm bringing it to my table and getting ready to gesso. I like to gesso my canvases once, wait till it dries, sand that down, give it another coat of gesso, wait till that dries, sand it down again, and then, you know, it gives me a nice smooth surface to paint on. And you can gesso it as many times as you want. You could sand it as many times as you want, or you don't even have to sand it if you like texture, you know? Do what you gotta do. Arguably, the most important part of prepping for a show is making the artwork. Surprise! Bet you didn't see that one coming. I always create my best work when I'm under pressure. Maybe you're the same. Either way, you gotta get a lot of work done. So stay focused and create your best work yet. And make sure you start well in advance. You don't want to be all stressed out and rushing to get things done a week before the show. It isn't just up to the hosts of the fair to market the show. While most of them do a great job and put a lot of money into it, it is also the artist's job to promote and create some hype. Post some work in progress leading up to the event. Maybe some behind the scenes on a social media platform of your choice. Think about how to price your work accordingly. So there is really no rule on how to price your work. I know some artists that price their work by the square inch, which is a pretty professional way of doing it, but then I know other artists that just go by what they feel in their heart their piece is worth, which is kind of what I do. With that being said, one thing I will note is that it is very important for your pricing to make sense. So for example, if you have a 30-inch by 30-inch piece, it's priced at $2,000. You don't want to have another piece with the same dimensions priced lower or higher than that. Because let's say someone bought a piece for $2,000 and then you sold another piece of similar dimensions to someone else for like $1,000. The person that paid $2,000 is gonna feel ripped off and they're not really gonna trust you and they're not really gonna value their work as much as they should. Make sure you check the logistics ahead of time so you know 1, what your booth number is, 2, where it's located, 3, where you load in, and 4, your assigned check-in time. And I can't stress enough how important it is to show up at your specified load-in time. The people that run these events give you a specific time so you avoid like confusion, so you avoid everyone getting annoyed with each other and getting in each other's way. So you really want to be mindful of that and respect everyone else that's participating in this show and show up on time. If you need more info on setting up and want to be fully prepared, I have created this video here where I walk you through everything step by step.